We just finished our Red Cloud Dry Fork Bigfoot expedition. And we're just leaving the area and on our way back home. Yeah, we did a night hike and a day hike. Last night on our night hike, Derek and I could hear something walking around us, not saying it was more than a deer or a rabbit or whatever, but it's kind of weird how it, you know, stayed out of sight. It was careful to stay far enough we couldn't see it, but it did a whole 360 around us. And then Derek later on heard a couple of screams or something. I didn't hear them, but he heard them down the canyon.
They were definitely in the distance coming up the canyon at us. It was quite a ways away, but they were long drawn out howls.
Well, we left game camera back in there, and we found what looked like some old bipedal footprints or impressions, and right close to them in the snow we found a bedding spot, which was strange. It was huge. I mean, double the impression every direction if one of us had laid there. And then we found some pretty cool hairs in it. Some of the hairs were like 8 inches long that we pulled out of the snow where it was laying. And we've all commented, looking at it, it's not an elk or a deer, these long strands of hair. And we already know that there's Bigfoot sightings in the area. That's why we're going in there.
Heck, at the gas station, the guy said that his dad had some experiences up that canyon.
He did.
Yeah,
hopefully he contacts us.
He found out that we were Bigfooters, and he's like, you guys need to talk to my dad.
Give him an estimate of about where we are.
I could see Flaming Gorge right there.
Yeah,
Water.
you can see Flaming Gorge.
We're on the north face of the range of mountains that we're investigating on. We did our investigation on the south slopes, and now we're on the north and just about to Flaming Gorge.
Very northeast corner of Utah.
Yeah, we're not very far from Colorado.
Or Wyoming. Beautiful country.
There's a lot more snow on this side of the mountain than on the other side.
It's all north facing instead of south facing.
Sure is cold out there.
So anytime you get north facing, you're going to have the snow for a lot longer.
Well, I see why people are having the Bigfoot sightings in the wintertime. On the south slope, it's warmer and the snow melts off faster. That's where the elk and deer are.
And lots of rabbits.
We just saw a good 100 head of elk, probably another 50 head of deer.
Yeah, the game was just plentiful. Derek was commenting last night. He's like, my God, there's rabbits everywhere. Are they nocturnal?
They were scattering. I mean, every, 100 yards or so, another one would zip across the road or something.
It's pretty here. I like all the ponderosas.
Yeah, lots of ponderosas in the area.
This is just
a beautiful area.
This is a beautiful section of the Uintas.
Far eastern section of the Uintas.
Yeah, that sign back there just said it was Flaming Gorge, you win a byway. And next week we'll be on the beach.
You guys will be on the beach. I'll be working. I'll be living a beach.
Life's a beach. We don't do very many winter Bigfoot investigations. It's hard to get into places, but it's just as beautiful as any other time of the year. I love the contrast to the snow with all the evergreens. And the thick, nasty weather.
Yeah, we did get snowed on.
Got a
today.
light snow coming down. Got the drone up for a little while too, so we'll have a little bit of aerial, but don't expect a lot out of it because we had a storm front coming in.
Well, you got the drone aimed on the mountain sides that I've been wanting to check out. Got both of the
Did about a 360
both
of
of the
the area.
mountains.
360 the area where we actually found those bipedal prints and where it bedded down. Pretty close anyway.
Yeah, I'm interested when we get home to compare those hairs to that suspect Bigfoot sample of hair that we have and see if there's any similarities or differences. One of the similarities that I noticed right away was the length. I mean, we were getting some 8-inch lengths out of that bedding spot in the snow. And what I really love about that bedding spot in the snow is, I mean, the hair stands right out, and there's no mistaking. Whatever was laying there, it was definitely its hair. You know, looks like a bedding spot, and then we find the hair, and especially on the edges all around that bedding spot. It was in the snow, you know.
It was frozen into the snow.
Yeah, we were having to actually pull the hair out of the snow.
One of the longer pieces of hair that I pulled out that ended up being about 8 inches long, there was more of it because it broke off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The amount that broke off, it could have been 10, 12 inches of hair right there. One of the really longer strands. There were some shorter strands that we pulled out that were like 3-4 inches, but there were several that were 8 inches or better.
That could have been off of another animal because there was blood in there too.
Yeah, we did find a droplet of blood by one of the hairs in there.
One of the really long hairs, actually.
Yeah, it might have eaten another animal and had its hair on it.
Yeah, well, we did find one strand of hair in that entire bedding spot that looked like it could have been an elk hair. But I mean, the rest of it was hair. I mean,
It wasn't fur.
it wasn't the fur like the coarse elk one.
But that's interesting that it might have come off of the other animal.
Did you also throw the elk one in the bag too?
I did.
Cool. We can do those comparisons too.
Yeah.
And then when Brody moves out here this summer, we can have him throw him under his microscope if he still has it.
Oh, he does. We have a a microscope too in the basement.
What I like about Brody's is Brody can take photos
That's
through
true.
his.
Ours can't.
Yeah, we can check it out, but we have a hard time showing the viewers what we're looking at.
That's true. Didn't you guys find an animal that had been eaten last night?
Yeah, we found parts of a deer that had been eaten. Yeah,
and lots of hair that had been ripped out.
well,
We only found just the lower section of one of the legs.
at our old camp spot, we found a lot of deer hair in that camp spot, like one had been eaten.
There was a lot of hair that was right around the leg too, where we found that leg.
Yeah,
It was all matted up, rolled up. Almost looked like it had been digested, but it wasn't.
Maybe it got spit out.
I've seen elk and deer hair all my life. I recognize it right away, whether it's attached to the animal or not. And you guys do too. You guys have come from hunting families your whole lives.
Moose Pond. Should come up here in the summer.
Yeah, I want to camp in some of the spots up here.
It's snowing just enough to get the roads wet. And it's cold out there, so
It's below freezing.
just
It's 29 degrees before wind chill.
keep that in mind as we're zipping around.
Yeah, this would be a good spot to come in the middle of the summer because it's so high elevation. It'll be nice and cool up here. Well, cooler than where we're at.
What makes sense to me is during the winter time, the Bigfoot being on the south slope where the conditions are better, just like the deer and the elk do, for the same reason. And then in the summertime, the north slopes are nice and cool, and it's preferable conditions. So I'm sure a lot of the deer and the elk move to these north slopes along with the Bigfoot. I notice on the north slopes there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings that come during the end of summer and the fall and the beginning of the hunting season. But heck, all the Red Cloud and Dry Fork Bigfoot sightings that I know of were all pretty much wintertime sightings between December and February.
It's deep creek. You're in deep creek. Roadkill.
red, the white, the green. It's all Christmassy.
That's going to turn into a waterfall here.
Yep.
There's a campground down there. That's neat.
Gosh, it's beautiful through here.
That sign just said this area has Utah's oldest fossils.
Yeah, I like this drive. The extra hour or so that it adds to drive home is worth it. What's that up there? Is that a figure?
Yeah, it's a tree.
It's a tree.
Just a little tree coming right up off the top of the rocks. It's a long pine.
Wow. Can drive back in there still.
There's a lot of places up here we haven't looked yet.
I know. Should have pulled off there. Especially because the cop's been following us the last 20 minutes. Yeah.
It's alright.
I know. I haven't sped or anything. I haven't done anything wrong, so.
We're in deep, Greg.
That's a cool looking canyon.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
We need to come up here and
Wonder if there's a trailhead that goes there, or if you would have to off trail it to get back in there, but that looks cool.
Yeah. It's like a beautiful hike. Beautiful area.
we'd have to park over there and walk in.
Yeah, I don't see any way else of getting into it.
Yeah, parking here would be just fine.
There is a trailhead? Or just park there to hike
Just
in
park.
there?
You
Here
just
and
have to
walk.
park.
Yeah.
Utah Fault Zone.
Wow, it's pretty. Where we just come up
Yeah.
from this vantage point. Oh, we didn't come up there. We come off the
We come
top.
off the top and come down. But it's pretty down there anyway.
So that was the cause of the Uinta Mountains, that fault line right there?
Little fault.
That's neat. Ancient coastal sand dunes.
Yeah.
I know, it's amazing. It used to be under sea level, and now 70 million years later, you know, we got what, 14,000 foot peaks in this part of the Uintas. I don't know, whatever King's Peak is.
About 14,500 or something like that.
That's the highest peak in Utah, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, that's
Kings Peak is the highest.
beautiful. When we come around this corner, you can see
A long ways.
a big, huge body of water. Look how pretty.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's part of Flaming Gorge right there.
Yep.
Hope the camera picks it up. That's beautiful.
Well, you can see it. I guarantee you can see it.
Especially with all the weather and everything.
Sheep Creek overlook.
Do you guys want to stop at the view area? Snap a couple pictures?
Keep you.
I'm giving him a half hour of chances to pull me over.
Nope.
Oh, to find another one? That's funny.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we've climbed up there and took pictures from.
Uh-huh.
What was that?
It's my phone. It's probably Hunter. Oh, that's neat.
I
Oh, it's
don't know if I
Matt.
care to get out.
I'll get out first, just a second, and snap a few photos.
Oh, look at it coming down.
Oh my gosh. You can barely see the water anymore.
And it's little beads of hail. It's the type of snow we're getting.
Looks like cloud up here, but it's snow coming down. Just letting you know. Right over top of the lake. Dropping 4,000 or 5,000 feet in a very quick time.
4,000 at least.
Yeah.
Almost a mile.
My ears are popping. Bizarre sharks and phosphate. What's a bizarre shark?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Is it a description or an actual scientific name?
I don't know.
Bizarre shark.
I'll have to look it up.
It's because we're a bunch of land lovers.
Not gonna find Sasquatch on the high sea. They say in the off the shore of, I believe, the Trinidad area of California, people have seen Bigfoot actually swimming out in the ocean now.
Really?
That's what I've heard, and I hear a lot of Bigfoot stuff.
It's a really pretty area.
Yeah, we're coming down into the cottonwoods.
No, I was talking about out there in the Trinidad area.
Uh-huh.
That's really pretty. right along the coast right there. Is that where you got that little town that sits up on the hillside and overlooks the
ocean?
Bay? Yeah, it's a pretty cool looking little town.
Well, that whole northern coast there's a lot of beach sightings of Bigfoot. So, you know, a few people say that they've actually seen him swim in the water. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, sometimes don't have to swim out there very far to get a meal or wade out there. God, it's beautiful down through here.
Yeah, it is.
Some of the jagged mountain peak cliffs and stuff.
There's no place like Utah. The sheer diversity of the types of terrain, I guess. It's a good place that you can see anywhere from red rocks to arches to organic alpine forest to
Look,
name it, man.
all the snow has melted off in this area.
To the biggest, deadest inland body of water on the planet.
This area is perfect for camping right now.
Yeah, it is.
I love it when you can hike around and not just die from sweating your butt off.
Yeah.
You know, I like it when it's a little bit cooler.
This place is too hot in the summer to hike around.
It is hot in the summer. It gets really warm in the summer.
This would be a perfect place to come to right now. In the next couple of months.
Straight south of, like, what is it, Fort Bridger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rock Springs,
Rock
Wyoming.
Springs, yeah.
There's a bunch of deer right there.
See any antlers?
No.
God, they sure blend in well. Just saying.
Yep.
We're actually starting to get into an area where we should start seeing pronghorn or antelope or whatever you like to call them. Jenny and I seen some in this area last year.
This area is known for dinosaur tracks.
And the male was vocalizing, controlling the female's movements.
Yeah.
I mean, he was telling his herd of females exactly what to do with vocalizations. It was cool.
Like a little kazoo noise.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he runs somewhere where it's safe and he has a good view of the area and then starts telling the herd what to do. Little general.
That was a badger.
Horses. You saw a badger?
Yeah, right there on the side of the road.
Yeah, roadkill badger.
Yeah, it was dead. There's some hawk.
Big old birds.
Yep.
JR That was my dentist, orthodontist,
That's an orthodontist over there?
Dr. Broadbent.
Oh my gosh. It's out of the way. Stegosauruses are found here.
Getting a dinosaur tour coming back home from Bigfooting. Dakota Formation.
Deposits of rising sea. Oh, right here.
Yep,
That's neat.
that is neat.
Fossilized
Fossilized fish.
scales and shark teeth.
Yep, that's what it said. That's the type of fossils they're finding right here. All right, we're pretty much out of our Bigfooting area. On the left side of us, we're actually going around the Uinta mountain range. We're doing a full loop around it right now on our way home. And it's actually inside the mountain range where we do most our Bigfooting, but I hope you guys enjoyed part of our drive coming out of that. Keep on watching. We're gonna keep on squatching.
Keep on squatching.
Keep on squatching.